So this is how a flagship phone speaker sounds. Now this is how a flagship tablet speaker sounds. Now this is how the Moto Pad 70 Groove sounds. So yes, this is the new Pad 70 Groove with 9 JBL-tuned speakers. But the question that we have to ask is it only a good speaker with a display, or is it also actually a really good tablet? You know what? I'll answer that. So stay tuned with me. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm Ashad. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now, despite this unusually large speaker bump that exists, the tablet itself is only 6.8 millimeters thin. That is awesome. But when you measure it along with the speaker, it goes up to 22.7 millimeters. And you know what? It weighs about 780 grams, which for a tablet which has an attached speaker, I guess it's fine. But I will tell you this, when you start using it, you will have to rewire your muscle memory a little bit to get used to the weight of the tablet. But once you get used to it, it starts feeling comfortable. And honestly, after a while, you'll stop caring because you won't have to carry a separate Bluetooth speaker for trips. You'll get your tablet with a display and a speaker attached to it. And you know what? It's not just a speaker module. It's even more useful because it has a 360-degree kickstand. So you can use the tablet in landscape, portrait, or even hanging mode. For, of course, when you want to hang it to a tree and watch content. I know, everyone has their kinks. Now, I will say this, the placement of the power button and the volume rocker on the rear side of the tablet is not the most intuitive one. Again, you will have to rewire your muscle memory, but once you get used to it, it actually becomes very comfortable. And also, I like the fact that both these buttons have indentations, which makes it easier to feel for it. Also, the tactile feel is very, very good. In fact, not bad at all. Now, apart from that, you do get a USB Type-C 2.0 port. There's an SD card slot and a single rear camera without a flash. However, there's one thing I felt odd about this tablet is that there is no 3.5mm headphone jack. Should have been there, right? I guess you win some and you lose some. Now, you must be wondering, Esha, there's a speaker on the rear, but why does it have 4 speaker grills? Well, sabar karo, sabar ka phal meeta hota hai, and sabar karte karte subscribe bhi kar do. Now, talking about the display, it's a 12.5-inch 2.5K resolution LCD panel with 120Hz refresh rate, 600 nits of typical brightness, and up to 800 nits in high brightness mode. See, it's bright enough for indoor usage, but under direct sunlight, it might look a little dim. I feel like the bezels are also quite balanced for the tablet, for this wide aspect ratio tablet, I'd say. And there are 2 color profiles that you can get with it. Basically, you've got the standard and the vibrant. It ships with the vibrant mode by default, like most modern products do. And this vibrant mode makes the colors look very punchy. But I actually prefer the standard mode because it sort of keeps the colors looking more natural. Also, the viewing angles are pretty good on this. Now, this display also supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Now, it supports that technically, but Netflix Dolby Vision is not available at the moment of testing. But YouTube HDR videos work absolutely fine, and the gradation also looks good for an LCD panel, of course. Now, let's talk about the speakers. So let me start with the 4 speaker grills that I mentioned before. Basically, these are 4 tweeters. Simple. Motorola has actually fit in the tweeters into the body itself, and that module that you see, it has 3 woofers and 2 passive radiators. The advantage of having these many speakers on this tablet is that it will definitely sound better than any tablet that you've used. Now, I felt like the bass was a little too intense for me. You know, I'm not a big fan of bass, but within the settings app, you do get a customizable EQ, which means that you can pull down the bass and it'll sound much better. Also, I cranked it up to like 100% volume, no distortion whatsoever. So it's been tuned really well. Now, there are different modes that you can play around with. There's the music mode and the movie mode, but the most fun one has to be the Bluetooth speaker mode. Basically, Motorola's engineers were like, we have attached a speaker to the tablet and it's as good as a Bluetooth speaker. So let's give people the option of using this entire thing as a standalone Bluetooth speaker by connecting their phone. Really cool stuff. Honestly, that was a very, very smart move. So in short, I know that many people buy a tablet for content consumption purposes. YouTube, Netflix, Prime Video, Hotstar, Z5, Sony Live. For them, this could possibly be the perfect tablet. Now for the performance, what you get inside is a MediaTek Dimensity 7400X, 8GB of LPDDR5X RAM type and 256GB, and this is UFS 3.1 storage. Anyway, in daily usage, when you're, watching streaming content or listening to music or multitasking with Twitter and some, document that you're writing on the side, all of that, it works absolutely fine on this. It's smooth. But of course, you want to know about benchmarks. You're at Trakin Tech English. So let me tell you how it performs. So basically, we got an Antutu score of about 1.07 million, and the CPU didn't throttle too much either in our CPU throttle test because we got a stability of 92%. And in the wildlife stress test, we got an even more impressive stability of 99%. And gaming performance was surprisingly respectable because in Genshin Impact, we got 56.4 FPS average, which is not bad at all for Dimensity 7400X. And even the temperatures were under control. Now, if you're not a big fan of Genshin, you can play BGMI at Smooth Plus Extreme, which is basically 60 FPS, and COD Mobile goes up to 120 FPS on low graphics. See, this is not going to be the most powerful tablet in its segment. In fact, Motorola's very own Pad 70 Pro is going to be the better option for somebody hunting for performance specifically. But again, this is a different tablet for a different set of audiences that prefers or values very good multimedia experience over raw gaming performance. Anyway, on the connectivity front, you get Wi-Fi 6 support, Bluetooth 5.4. Now, the battery inside is a 10,200 mAh unit, which is nice. You also get 45-watt charging speeds. Interestingly, Motorola bundles a 68-watt charger inside the box, but the tablet itself tops out at 45 watts and it takes about 2 hours for a full charge. Now, for the cameras, you get a 13MP primary camera with no flash, by the way, and an 8-megapixel selfie camera. Now, don't go around carrying your tablet for taking photos, but if you want to take like video calls, it works absolutely fine. And even for some document scanning, it should be okay. And now let's talk about the software experience. And Motorola actually uses the Moto ZUI 18 based on Android 16 with the promise of 2 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates. Now, Moto ZUI might not be the flashiest UI out there, but it's easily one of the cleanest tablet experiences. There's no unnecessary bloatware, the animations are smooth, and the overall experience itself feels very polished. Now, coming from reviewing something like the Asus Pad T3210, this was much better, honestly. You get plenty of productivity features. For example, you've got Smart Connect to seamlessly switch between tablet and phone. There's MyScript Notes and MyScript Maths for taking notes and solving math problems. You get Smart Reader to view and edit documents. There's AI Notes to create, edit, and rewrite your notes with AI and generate summaries as well. There's AI Transcript as well for 40 different languages. On top of that, Google's AI suite is all here. Circle to Search, Gemini, Google Translate, and the AI editing suite that you get within Google Photos, that is also available on this tablet. Maybe you can just capture photos on your Android phone, transfer it here, and edit it on this large screen. So overall, I think Motorola has done a good job with the software, which brings me to the most important question. Should you actually buy this? Now, after using the Motorola Pad 70 Groove, which by the way is also available as the Lenovo Tab Plus Gen 2 for about a week, I'd say again that this is made for a different set of audience. It's not the most powerful tablet in its segment, but it's not trying to be that either. Instead, it actually focuses on what people really want from a tablet. They want to watch content, they want to browse, they want to take online classes and be able to be productive with the tablet with a bunch of different AI features that are available. And with the premium build quality, clean software, good display, and the really good 9-speaker JBL setup, I think the Pad 70 Groove definitely delivers on its promise of giving you that feature-rich multimedia content consumption productivity experience. Now, the real question that you need to ask yourself is, would you spend 34,000 rupees after discounts for the Pad 70 Groove, or would you rather spend a little bit more and buy the Pad 70 Pro instead? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. By the way, the tablet is going on sale on August 7th on Flipkart, and of course, I mentioned the price and all the details of it should be available on screen for you. Anyway, that's it from me for this one. The tablet market is booming, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.